You walked past a millionaire today, you did not notice because he looked exactly like you. He was not wearing a Rolex, he was not driving a Tesla, he had no designer logo anywhere on him. He was wearing a $10 shirt, driving a 9-year-old Toyota, and he is worth $4 million. The people who actually have money rarely look like it. That is not an accident. That is the entire point. In the next 9 minutes, I will show you the 7 signs of real wealth that almost nobody talks about, signs almost nobody can see, because they were designed on purpose to be completely invisible to the outside world. This is Thinking Stick, mental models for money. One big idea at a time, no hype, just math and psychology. If that sounds like your thing, hit subscribe. Now let us meet Robert. You are going to like him. Robert is 61 years old, lives in a modest 3-bedroom house, has lived in that same house for 22 years. He owned a small plumbing business, retired last year, has just over $4 million sitting in his investments. His next-door neighbor, Jason, earns 3 times more than Robert ever did, drives a BMW, has $19,000 in savings. How does a quiet plumber retire a millionaire while a 6-figure executive lives paycheck to paycheck his entire life? The answer is not income. It is not luck. It is a pattern. A pattern anyone watching this can copy. This pattern was first documented back in 1996 by a researcher at Georgia State University. His name was Thomas Stanley. Dr. Thomas Stanley studied over 1,000 real American millionaires for 20 years. The findings changed everything we thought we knew. What he found genuinely shocked the media. Most millionaires did not look like millionaires at all. They looked like Robert. Real wealth is quiet. Loud wealth is usually debt in disguise. And Stanley proved it, with decades of hard data. So here are the 7 signs, each one backed by research, each one visible, but only if you know where to look. Sign number 1, they drive boring cars, not just cheap cars, strategically boring, practical, reliable, forgettable. Stanley found that over 80% of real millionaires buy used cars and keep them for a full decade or longer. A brand new car loses roughly 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the dealership lot. Wealthy people do not see cars, they see compounding engines with wheels. Every dollar spent is a dollar not growing. Sign number 2, they live in smaller houses than they can afford, much smaller, on purpose, every single time. A bigger house means bigger property taxes, bigger utility bills, bigger furniture, bigger repairs, and bigger insurance premiums every year. The house itself does not keep you poor. The invisible expenses wrapped around that house are what quietly drain you. Quiet, wealthy people ask one simple question before any upgrade. Will this add freedom to my life or subtract it? Sign number 3. They wear boring clothes, plain, simple, almost uniform-like. Day after day, year after year, they do not wear designer. They do not chase trends. They reduce daily decisions to save mental energy for what matters. Designer clothing is a receipt for the salesperson, not a sign of wealth. It is a sign of performance and insecurity. Sign number 4. Their friends do not know what they earn. Their family barely knows. Nobody knows. Ever. Wealthy people know something critical. Discussing money publicly invites comparison, invites envy, invites manipulation, and invites unwanted requests for loans. They follow a quiet rule. If someone asks what you earn, change the subject, politely, smoothly, every single time. Silence is not secrecy. Silence is protection. It protects your peace, your relationships, and your focus from unnecessary noise. Sign number 5. They buy assets, not logos. And the difference between those 2 words is absolutely everything. An asset puts money into your pocket over time. A logo takes money out, every single time, without exception. Before every purchase, they ask one question. Am I buying this to actually be richer or just to look richer? Most people confuse the 2 their entire lives. Looking rich and actually being rich pull in opposite directions completely. Sign number 6, they automate their wealth. They never rely on willpower or motivation or monthly discipline to build it. Stanley found wealthy people decide once, then never touch the system again. The system runs quietly in the background. Broke people budget every single month. Wealthy people design one system on a Sunday afternoon and forget about it forever. Willpower is finite. Systems are infinite. Your financial plumbing matters 1,000 times more than your financial discipline ever will. Sign number 7. They measure their wealth in time, not in stuff. That single shift changes how they see everything. When they buy something, they do not ask, "Can I afford it?" They ask, "How many hours of my life did this cost?" A $4 coffee is not $4 to them. It is 7 minutes of their working life traded away forever. That mental shift changes every single purchase decision. And over decades, it changes the entire shape of your life. Now here is the deeper truth nobody tells you. The truth behind all 7 of these signs combined. These 7 signs are not 7 separate habits. They are one single pattern repeated. One underlying philosophy expressed 7 different ways. I call it the invisible wealth protocol. The quiet systems wealthy people run every day and never, ever explain publicly. At the center of this protocol is one single question: every purchase, every decision, every habit, one filter, always. Does this purchase buy me freedom? Or does it rent me someone else's approval? That is the only question. Most of what people buy is a tax they pay for being watched. Clothes, cars, houses, vacations, all of it. Wealthy people opt out of being watched. That single shift frees up trillions of dollars inside the entire economy every year. They look boring because they removed the audience. And the audience, the people you perform for, is expensive. Economist Cyril Northcote Parkinson proved this back in 1955. Spending always rises to match whatever income you happen to be earning. Earn more, you spend more. Without a conscious system, income never translates into wealth, ever. The math is brutal. The wealthy break this economic law on purpose. They let their income rise, but they freeze their spending in place. That gap, the space between what they earn and what they actually spend, is wealth itself. That gap is freedom. Wealth is not what you earn. Wealth is what you do not spend. And creating that gap is a learnable skill. So tonight, I want you to run one small experiment. It will take under 5 minutes. Pure, unflinching clarity about yourself. Open your banking app right now. Look at your last 10 purchases. Look at each one carefully. No judgment, just honesty. Next to each purchase, write one single letter. F for freedom. A for approval. That is the entire exercise. Count the A's. That number, that is how much of your money is renting approval you will never actually own. Every A purchase is a brick. Those bricks do not build wealth. They build a stage for other people. This week, swap one A purchase for a skip, just one. That single skipped dollar is where compounding quietly begins. Over 10 years, those skipped dollars quietly become tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. Depends on how seriously you commit. Wealth is not loud. It never was. It was always the quietest person in the room, always has been, always will. The flashy person you secretly envy probably owes more than you do. The boring one next to them likely owns everything. If this video genuinely landed tonight, drop one letter below. F, because freedom is what you are choosing from now on. Subscribe so you do not miss it. The exact quiet systems that made Robert rich are waiting to work for you too. You do not need a higher income. You do not need a lucky break. You need a filter. One question every time: freedom or approval. Choose one every single time for the rest of your life. Keep thinking. Stick. Like the video, subscribe for more, and start building a life that buys you freedom, not approval.